You see, I love masks. It began when I was very young. My mother and father were infamous bank robbers. If you live in the valley, they have probably stolen your life savings at one point or another. Growing up with bank robbers for parents, I knew the importance of keeping your face hidden at all times. Even the slightest peak of your identity can mean the end of your life as you knew it. Before every heist, my parents would have this moment where they'd sit together at the dining room table, their masks pulled over their heads, and sit in silence. And that was their commitment to each other, that no matter what happened on this heist, if one of them is shot by the police, if one of them doesn't make it back, the other one will never move on and never forget. Being surrounded by masks, I learned to appreciate them myself. When I was 12, I was in a production of The Phantom of the Opera with my middle school. As you might expect, it was not a very good production. You cannot sing that well when you're 12, but I did my best. I was Christine. I auditioned for the role of the Phantom, but Mr. Pendergast looked me in the eye and he told me, "Honey, that's a role for a boy." But no boy could be the Phantom better than I could. What that teacher did not understand was that masks is not just an accessory, it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle of hiding your true self so that you can be your true self. You see, the reason bank robbers wear masks is because once no one knows who they are, they face no consequences. They can do anything they want. They could rip the pearls off the neck of an old lady effortlessly. They could shoot their neighbor in the leg while she is making coffee, because Wells Fargo, after all, does have complimentary free coffee. He could look into the eye of a bank teller and put a gun to his head and tell that man, "Give me your money or I will shoot you dead." You take a mask off a man and they can't do that. You take a mask off of someone and they freeze because someone is going to judge them and they are paralyzed by that. Obviously, I am not a bank robber. My parents were arrested finally when I was 15. It shouldn't have happened, but it did. The truth is that my mother was having an affair. She was having an affair with the head of a bank. Obviously, she had money, but she wanted more, and she decided the best way to steal it was to steal his heart instead. So the heist went wrong because she told him, her affair, that is, not her husband, not to be there that day, that he was going to be robbed. He believed her, of course, because when someone tells you your bank is going to be robbed, you believe them. Otherwise, you risk ruining the lives of many people. So we called the police. My parents didn't even make it out of their getaway car before the police arrested them. After that, my grandmother took me in. This is my father's mother, of course. The rest of my family is all dead. They were also bank robbers. The bank robber line comes from my mother's line. My parents eloped, did you know? As you might expect. My grandmother was horrified that her son would marry a professional bank robber, even if my mother was the belle of the ball, as you might say. So my grandmother raised me, and she had a strict no masks policy. Not even a masquerade mask. For my high school prom's theme was masquerade, which is original, I know. It's immensely original. No masks, not even when I was in my high school production of Phantom of the Opera, this time as the Phantom, which should rightly have been. I didn't tell my grandmother about that role because I knew she would object. But still, she showed up to opening night and she ran screaming from the lobby when she saw me grace the stage wearing a mask. I was grounded afterwards. Strict no mask policy. She searched all my belongings every night to make sure I had no masks hidden away. And of course, the addiction became real after that. I couldn't help myself. Even passing a Halloween store in October set my teeth on edge. I had this shivering desire to hide behind my face. Of course, I managed to hide things from her, obviously. The first mask that I dared to touch, I remember it so clearly. It was a Hillary Clinton mask. Back when she was First Lady. It's so freeing. I stopped being myself and I started being someone else when I put on the mask. No one cared who I was before I put on the mask. The first day I put that one on, I knew that my destiny was to become better than my parents. I wouldn't just rob banks. I was gonna rob the mint. I wanted to taste it. I wanted to smell handfuls of quarters fresh off the press. I wanted to lie back across those sheets of dollar bills all freshly plastic wrapped. I knew immediately the mint. Pay homage to both my parents and to show my grandmother that I knew who I was behind the mask. But I wasn't ready yet. I was only a child at the time. So I kept collecting and collecting and collecting every mask I can get my hands on. I hid them under my mattress, so I can only have very flag masks for this reason. And then one day I took an art class. It was my freshman year of college. I remember it so clearly. The professor stood in front of the class and he told us that today we got to make whatever we wanted for our final project. And I knew. I agonized over it for months. I had a mold and I painstakingly paper machéed all over it with even texture, making sure each layer was perfectly dry before I did the next layer. It was pristine. I painted it black and I bedazzled it. I lost count of how many times I burned my fingers pressing rhinestones into that surface, but it had to be perfect. I made that. I got an A, obviously. And I made another, and another, and another, till my dorm room, every surface, every shelf was a different mask, all faces a different shade. Some were bedazzled, some were crocheted, some were rope I had sewn together into this shape to cover my face. The addiction was real. When I became a senior in college, I was going to graduate with a degree in banking because I had to learn all the secrets before I was ready. I skipped my college graduation. To me, it was just a ceremony. You walk across the stage, you get a diploma, and then you face the rest of your life, not knowing what you're about to do. But I knew what I was going to do. I've known my whole life. That's when I planned my heist. First, I needed accomplices. People like me, not mask people, but people who are morally different. My getaway driver was my girlfriend, obviously. I trusted her over a cliff, we said, till the end of the line. It's gonna be me and her. Maybe we'd go to Paris, maybe London after we had all the money. Maybe we'd stay around in town. Who knew no one was gonna know it was us? We were masked, obviously. My girlfriend, her ex came along. Her ex is a computer person, so she was nice to have, even if it did evoke some jealousy. Truth is that we had a threesome the night before the heist, as one does. And it went perfectly, exactly as expected, and we looked fabulous. I had this idea, so we were all wearing black three-piece suits, perfectly tailored. And then I was wearing the first mask I built, the black one with rhinestones, and these were silver rhinestones, so I was black and silver. My girlfriend, she was wearing my blue mask, so she was blue and black. My girlfriend's ex-girlfriend, the bitch, she got to wear a crochet mask. It was bright purple with pom-poms on it. That was satisfying. She had no sex appeal in that mask, which is exactly why I made it specifically for her, specifically for this heist. But it was perfect. I mean, obviously, this was my destiny. My destiny to rob the mint. And then we left. We all ran away together. It would have been the happiest ending. We would have driven off into the sunset, my girlfriend riding shotgun, her ex not in the picture at the moment because who cares about her, fuck her. But it was wrong of me to bring the two of them together on that. The second we were clear, we were driving off, high on the rush of it, the endorphins, the adrenaline. It was everything I dreamed it would be. We switched cars, obviously, switched plates, switched clothes, switched disguises, switched everything, where we become new people. And we stop at a rest stop, and I go inside to get some Cheetos and some Gatorade, as one does. And then I come back out. I come back out, and the two of them are having sex in the front seat of my car. The two women who I brought together for my heist, for my moment. My girlfriend is cheating on me with her ex, who isn't even that pretty, and can't even do anything, who couldn't even make a mask or rub the mint on her own. She needed my help. She needed me to complete her. I was heartbroken, of course. It was a very tense ride. We got out of town, obviously, as one does. And then we all went our separate ways. And I was alone. I remember it clearly. I was driving a Suzuki XL7. It was the color of dirt. That way I wouldn't have to wash it. I stole it, of course, from an airplane, the cheap parking lot. I assumed the owner would forget where they parked it after they couldn't find it right away. And it's a color of dirt. Like, no one cares. I'd dump it eventually. My girlfriend and her now girlfriend, or my ex-girlfriend and her girlfriend, the bitch, they took off in a Lamborghini. And guess what? There's a reason why you don't have a getaway car that's a Lamborghini. Like, this is obvious. This is very obvious. That should not be a getaway car, ever. It's a bad getaway car. They were arrested about 45 minutes later. And I made a clean getaway. A seamless getaway. To this day, no one knows who robbed the mint. They don't know where I am. They don't know who. They assumed it was men. They assumed it was a bunch of men. You know, the tabloids, they called it Ocean 8 in real life. After the movie with George Clooney, the hot guy. Because no one assumes women are going to commit, like, mass theft. So to this day, they're looking for a gang of 3 men who look fantastic in black suits who are wearing masks. And it was wonderful. Although, the day after, I got a call from my mother in prison. She tells me, "Hello, honey, someone robbed the mint. Was that you?" And I told her, "Mom, no, it wasn't." And then I hung up because that call was being recorded. They tell you it's being recorded in the little voiceover before you pick up the phone. And I'm not a dumbass. I knew that. And so I started a quiet life. I own a bookstore now. I have 3 dogs and a cat. The cat's name is Muffins because he's the color of a Raisin Bran muffin. Exactly. I have a quiet life, although I've never loved a sunset girlfriend. I've dated, of course. I have Tinder, like most people in this day and age, but everyone I meet, I can't tell them my greatest accomplishment. I can't tell them how I afforded my bookstore. I have a secret life, and I knew they would never understand. No one understood. No one understood except her, except the love of my life, who's in prison now. And you want to know why she's in prison? Because it was me. It's because I called the police from the airport parking lot, and I said, "Hello, officer. There's a woman with a lot of stolen money, and she's driving a Lamborghini with a bitch in her passenger seat. If you hurry, you could find them. Goodbye, officer. Have a very nice day." Revenge is sweet. She should never have left me.